was a California August in 82 when my mother gave birth to the Spam Tech crew. 13 years later had me looking at Linux. Programming made me stronger like Papa the Spinach. Now, people know that a DG carry weapons, but if that weapon is a nest, you step in. We finish Contra with only one life. Finish Metal Gear 2 using only a knife. Right. People might think that we're frontin', then they see all the news online that I'm putting. My rhymes flow just like my code, even though my source is owned by Sko. What about my Indian? I keep it low. See me on Gunbound, call me pro. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. No. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I said my heart's wide open, goatsy, and my windows min like Ho Chi. I'm just another nerd, but I rap about it. Shit talk on the net, then I laugh about it. I've been caught slipping like the Star Wars kid when I'm on eBay sniping a bid. Catch me on a webcam like Numa Numa. See me at the club and I'm rocking Puma. Another net legend if you see me yodel. Spit a little something that's anecdotal. Tell me about the time the E-Bombs world stole your chop like I stole your girl. Catch me on Gen May, not something awful. Low tax would ban me, raffle. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, and I am flying solo right now, but that's okay because we got a lot to talk about. We got to go over some breaking news that RJ just posted. He just made me aware of, but Jonathan Majors has been dropped by his representation. So that's interesting. A lot of people were saying, "Hey, it's going away. Disney's burying this. It's no big deal." But this is breaking news. So we'll go over that. Also, we got to talk about some Mandalorian Season 3 finale predictions coming from the Direct. We'll see what they got to say. We're going to talk about the outrage that is Lilo and Stitch's casting. Why the hypocrisy is being shown. How the turntables, if you will. We're going to go over an AI-generated song that uses Drake and The Weeknd's vocals and why this might be concerning. Record labels are quaking in their boots. The robots are taking over. That's it. It's all good. Robots can make music now. We don't need us. And Shaquille O'Neal, he's been served. We're going to talk about that. Messing with that crypto. If you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone. Of course, Knuckles, the spinoff for Sonic the Hedgehog. And just like the title of this stream suggests, we'll be going over the writer's strike, or at least the authorization for a strike pending, not being able to negotiate the contract. It's probably going to be a nothing burger, but we'll go over it. We'll see what's going on. With that said, what's up to everybody in the chat? I see Arkham Unlimited, RJ, 56K Warning, some guy named the Geek Getaway, and of course, StreamElements spot right now. A monster drink spam with jam. That's how you do it. I'm about 3 monsters deep already. I had to get some water because I don't think I'm going to go for 4. 4 might be pushing it. 3 a day. It's okay. It's actually, I'm going to say 3.5 because I had the big monster, which is like almost like a monster and a half, and then 2 of the regular cans. So I'm like 3.5. I'm pushing it. That's what I'm saying. I think we don't want to kill myself. But let's go over this breaking news. Like I said, this was shared to me by RJ. It's from Deadline. Jonathan Majors and manager Entertainment 360 part ways. Actor facing domestic violence allegations in New York City. This comes to us from Anthony De Alessandro and Dominic Patton today, just a couple hours ago. Exclusive talent manager Entertainment 360 have dropped Jonathan Majors. Several sources tell us the recent move by Majors' longtime manager comes 3 weeks after the magazine Dream Star was arrested on domestic violence charges in New York City. Currently starring in Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Majors' exit from Entertainment 360 was due to issues of the actor's personal behavior, we are informed. So, you know, when this happens, when management starts dropping you, when they're not standing behind you, when they're not sticking with their client, it's usually because they know you're guilty. What's up, RJ? You coming in to
hello? What's up?
Lend some voice to the Jonathan Majors is innocent camp?
No, not really. No. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. You ain't looking too good.
Like I was just saying right before you popped in, you know, usually when management starts dropping you like this, it's a bad sign. They know that he's going to get charged. He's guilty. It's going down.
Yeah, although in the same article, people are rushing to the defense of, well, they're saying that there's no conversations about recasting, which that could be true, but it still doesn't mean, you know.
Oh, yeah, because they're not talking about recasting. They're just talking about writing out the character.
I don't know if they can do that. They like, here's the thing. Marvel bet on Kang so much for this fate, like this entire saga. You just can't drop him entirely. I mean, the one good thing about the character is that you could recast and just say, oh, it's a different variant. It's fine.
It'd be okay. Yeah, I mean, they could throw a curveball and bring back RDJ as a Kang variant.
Or maybe they're just going to like reboot the entire MCU storyline to say, don't worry about Kang. Here's Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom killed Kang off screen. It's now the Doom Dynasty.
Yeah, they're just going to like, you know, like when they did like at that one Marvel event where they had the title Serpent Society, it'll just like, it'll be Kang Dynasty and then it'll fade and explode and then it'll come up Avengers Doom's Dynasty. And there you go.
Yeah. I mean, they've changed the name of a couple of things already. They changed what? Wanda, was it Coven of Chaos to something else now?
Oh, first it was Agatha Harkness, and then it was Agatha Coven of Chaos. Now it's just, I don't even remember. They changed that title so many times.
Majors' representation problem doesn't stop with Entertainment 360. PR folks, the lead company, also initiated a break with the Avengers actor in the last month. Oof. As a more minor element of this, Majors and fashion house Valento mutually agreed that the actor would not be attending this year's Met Gala as one of their guests. Man, that's it. He's done. If all these people are separating from him, you know, these companies, Disney tried. They put in their 2 cents and it didn't work.
Well, didn't Major's lawyer or PR firm say that they had undisputable evidence that proved his innocence that they were going to release?
They released some evidence already, and it actually didn't disprove anything. Quite the contrary, in my opinion.
What was it? Was it a text message or something?
Yeah, it was out of context text messages But basically, in the text message, the girlfriend's checking on him. And then it's like, well, I don't understand why the police are arresting you because I told them you didn't do nothing. And I'm telling them that you're innocent. But that doesn't mean that he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah. I mean, if there was a video, it would be nice. But
supposedly there is a video from the Uber or whatever.
So why has it not been released yet?
Evidence.
I guess so. Well, yeah, because isn't it an official NYPD crime now?
Yeah. Like I said, they from what they released, I don't know if you read it all, but what had happened was they got into some sort of altercation in the Uber, went back to the house. Something happened because she ended up passing out, and Jonathan Majors called the police, or he called the ambulance or whatever, because, quote, she had passed out and he didn't know what to do. And usually that happens when you choke people, right? So he's saying that he's innocent. He didn't do nothing. But when they showed up, when the police showed up, they saw marks on her, thought that she was at least in enough condition they had to send her to the hospital and charge him with a crime.
Yeah, I'm seeing another tweet from Deadlines. It's probably part of the article. Maybe you already read it, but they're saying that he will face a judge on May 8th. He's facing multiple accounts of harassment and assault by the New York City DA.
Yeah. We hadn't got there yet, but...
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you, too, because I've kind of seen this take floating around ever since, like, the whole thing with him started. There are some people who feel like he's being treated differently because of the color of his skin, and the reason they say that is because of the Ezra Miller situation. They're saying, well, why is it that Jonathan Majors seems to be getting canceled more than Ezra Miller? Although I don't think it's fair to equate the two.
He's getting canceled more?
That was the take. Like, it seems like Jonathan Majors is getting punished quicker than Ezra Miller has. Because they just dropped his firms and everything, and it seems like he's going to lose his role.
Oh, from my understanding of the Ezra thing, right? Didn't some of that happen like overseas?
No, Hawaii. It was all in the U.S.
I thought when he choked that lady, it was in like Iceland.
Oh, no. When he choked the lady, it was in Iceland. Yeah.
Yeah, see? It's DCU. No one cares. That's why. No, I mean, I would think that the reason that Jonathan Majors is getting a swifter backlash is because he's a straight male, whereas Ezra Miller is a they, them. Right? Remember, any criticism of Ezra Miller was, well, you're transphobic, you're non-binary phobic, whatever the fuck it was, you're LGBTQ phobic, right? So, if anything, Ezra Miller was being protected, and remember that was always the accusation that they were protecting Ezra Miller. What's up, George?
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to ask you guys, like, am I wrong for thinking that this isn't good? Because some people are saying it's not a big deal. He'll be fine. And I don't see it that way. I don't see how losing your PR firm and your management dropping you is a good sign for the health of your career and your longevity. I'm not saying he can't bounce back from this, but I don't know.
It all depends. Oh, go ahead, George.
I think because of the timing of this, because this is happening right after Quantumanium, right before Loki Season 2, and like a couple of years before Avengers Kang Dynasty. I think the timing like of this couldn't be any worse for anyone. So like the timing's just really, really bad for Jonathan Majors. But I remember like a few weeks ago we were talking about those like weird text messages, and like a lot of people thought those messages could have helped him, but it actually made the situation even worse because some of it looked fabricated.
Yeah.
It sounded like victim shaming. Like the victim was shaming themselves.
I agree. It sounded like battered wife syndrome. Someone who was basically like, oh, shit, I better do something in order that he doesn't come back home pissed off and beat me up again.
I mean, maybe that's kind of the concern. I mean, ultimately, this is just a bad situation all around. Um, we'll see. I think just like with the Ezra Miller situation, I want to see how it plays out in court because he is facing a judge on May 8th. So we'll kind of see what goes on with that. If they drop the charges, maybe. I don't know. But I just don't understand like how you throw away your career over like a dumb spat with a girlfriend.
All right, we'll get to that real quick, RJ, but put a pin in that. Finbar says, "Sub dudes, moral of the story: do not choke a bitch if you want to be king." Yeah. So I think to answer your first question, because I never actually answered it, I think this is bad because of the timing. He hasn't gone in front of a judge yet. Usually they wait, right? They're like, okay, we're gonna play it by ear and see what happens, and then when you're found guilty, or it looks like you're gonna be found guilty, then they like start distancing themselves from you. The fact that these people are distancing themselves from him already, they probably know, right? They probably realize that, yeah, he's guilty, especially management, because they probably talked to him and asked him, or they know that he has other behavior that's going to start coming out again, right? So this looks terrible. Can he bounce back? Yeah. If he's not guilty, 100%. If he's guilty, not. I think he's done.
And I think with the Ezra Miller situation, you got to remember, like with that, like the Flash was completed as well as Fantastic Beasts. So I feel like Loki season 2, I don't think like that should be really affected. The main question is going to be, is he going to be Kang for Avengers Kang Dynasty or whatever else he's supposed to be Kang in?
Well,
I think that's going to be the main question.
Oh, sorry, not interrupt. I just want to say, here's why I think like this situation is kind of worse than the Ezra Miller situation in terms of like talking about the franchise stuff. Ezra Miller was already on the way out, probably anyway, because there's a DC reboot on the horizon. Marvel's building like their entire multiverse saga around the villain of Kang, specifically Jonathan Majors. He's going to be in pretty much a ton of movies moving forward and shows.
He was.
So, he was, but like he just filmed like a bunch of stuff.
But and also the question is going to be: are any Marvel actors going to feel comfortable? Because you got to remember, there's going to be a big cast for Kang Dynasty alone. Forget about Secret Wars. Kang Dynasty is going to have a big cast as well. So, like, how many actors are going to feel comfortable being around him?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, though, we've been hearing rumblings that like Marvel's going to delay a lot of stuff. And also, I don't know if that's a topic for tonight, but the writer's strike could be happening as early as May 1st.
Marvel's praying for it right now.
Well, if the writer's strike happens, like they can't move forward on any productions that.
Yeah, that's why they're praying for it. They're 100% right now. Marvel's going, please strike, please don't.
We need the time.
Yeah, we need the time because that'll help them to like, oh, this is why we recast, and look at the writer's strike has allowed us to do this and that, the other thing, right?
Yeah,
but here's the thing too. Here's the thing too, though, right? We'll get to it. Maybe we get to that topic, but like, if the writer's strike happens, the DGA and the Actors Guild, I think, are also doing contract negotiations. So if they don't get a deal with the Writers Guild, all three are going to strike. Writers Guild, Directors Guild, Actors Guild. Like, my God,
we might have to play video games.
And I think this time around, I think studios would rather delay with this strike than pump content out, because the last time a writer's strike happened, they still moved forward with stuff, but the stuff wasn't good. Movies like X-Men Origins Wolverine, Quantum of Solace, and Transformers Revenge of the Fallen suffered greatly because of the writer's strike. They had only 3 weeks to write that Revenge of the Fallen script, and look what happened.
Yeah. Well, maybe if there's a writer's strike, we could start submitting our Kang Dynasty scripts. Like, hey, Marvel, I got you covered. Don't worry. I'm not in the guild. But going for RJ's other question, where he said, how can, somebody throw their career away with all this? People who have anger issues, they're not really thinking about their career when they're choking people, right?
No, that's true.
Yeah, they're like seeing red at this point.
Yeah, if you have like deep-seated anger issues, I mean, yeah, that's true.
Well, if you have any kind of issues, it's like when you're like, well, how could somebody throw their career away for alcohol? Because they're alcoholics, they literally can't control themselves, right? They're drug addicts, they literally can't control themselves. When you're an abuser, you literally can't control. That's just what you are, right? Like, So if the guy is someone who smacks women around or, has anger issues, he wasn't thinking about his career. That never factored into the decisions he made when it came to slapping her around and choking her.
Well, apparently there's been zero conversations from Marvel to drop him. So as far as we know,
I think that's a
still
lie. No. They what they said was, and I'll bring up the tweet, or I'll at least talk about the tweet. Where the hell is it? Was it in the movies one? Yeah, it says Majors has already shot the second season of Marvel Disney's Loki and won't go before the cameras in Avengers King Dynasty for quite some time. Deadline hears there's been zero conversations in the Marvel camp to drop him. But I'm guessing that conversation is being happened at the highest level, and it's obviously not something that they want out in the public, right? That to be leaked out.
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit iffy about it. Like I said, I don't think Loki season 2 is going to be affected. Like I think they're still going to keep him in there since it's already been filmed. But I think they're gonna be having massive talks about recasting or like looking for other options.
Real quick, CGH says Kang literally died. The only thing that's holding him back is the post-credit scene. Well, that's not a post-credit scene. That's what people need to understand. That's literally just a scene from Loki season 2, right?
Well, both post-credit scenes. He's talking about the one with like where they revealed Rama Tut and the other one, Immortus. Where like it was just a room full of Jonathan Majors, where they revealed the three main villains moving forward: Rama Tut, Immortus, and the other dude.
Scarlet Centurion.
Yeah, Scarlet Centurion. Thank you. Like those are your three main villains in the Multiverse Saga moving forward, and then you have Victor Timely and Loki season 2. So it's like, damn, it's just like they hedge their bets on this one actor and this one character so much. Because remember, the rumors are that you're going to see a Kang variant in like a bunch of different movies, like Rama Tut and Fantastic Four, maybe, or like Immortus.
No, that's not rumors. That's just people talking shit. From my understanding, because they even said Marvel came out and said, even though Kang is going to be hanging over the MCU, he's not necessarily going to factor into every movie.
No, of course not. Now. But like in the big movies, so for like Deadpool 3 is a multiverse movie.
I don't think he'll be in Deadpool.
No, I think at most he would have been in a mid or post credit scene.
Yeah.
For Deadpool 3. Like the lucky thing for Marvel is their 2024 lineup isn't most likely Kang's not going to be in them. Like most of these projects are going to be grounded like Thunderbolts and Captain America New World Order. So he's not going to be in there. The most likely one would have been Deadpool 3, but I don't even think he's going to be in that one unless it's a mid or post-credit scene.
I think he's not going to be in the Marvels, but I think he's going to be mentioned in the Marvels when it comes to where their powers come from and how it connects into the overall story going forward. And I think that's the real issue. It's not that he's going to be in a bunch of movies, that he's going to be mentioned in a bunch of movies.
Possibly, yeah. Like his presence is kind of just looming in the background.
Yeah. And then, like George was saying, there's probably a lot of like post-credit scenes or at least ideas floating around. Like, okay, we're going to put this at the end of that movie, and this is going to be here to connect everything. Well, they're just getting another actor.
Yeah, like here's the thing: Marvel's recasted before, so it's not like this wouldn't be the
not
first
to.
time.
I mean, true, but not to this level. There's been like 3 major recasts. Don Cheadle replacing Terrence Howard as Rhodey because Terrence Howard wanted to be paid the most out of everybody. It's like, no, you're just a side character. We're not doing that.
Whoa. Why are you lying on my man?
Well, I'm just saying, like, he wanted to be paid as much as Robert Downey Jr.
No, he didn't. He wanted to be paid what he was owed.
What he assumed he was owed.
No. The contract literally said that he was the highest paid actor in the first movie, right? In the first Iron Man movie, what the hell is his name?
Rhodey?
Yeah, no, the actor.
Oh, Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, right? Terrence Howard had just come off of Hustle and Flow and everything. He was really hot. They signed him for the most amount of money. He was the highest paid actor on Iron Man with a contract that guaranteed him the same amount of money in the subsequent movies. When it came to Iron Man 2, they basically said, hey, we now have to pay Robert Downey Jr. more money because obviously he's now the star, right? He's redeemed himself. He's built himself back up. We need him. He's the star of the movie. So we got to pay him more. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your money and give it to him and then pay you less. Cool? And he said, no, that's not cool. This is what my contract says. My contract says you're going to pay me X amount of money. And Marvel said, well, we're not going to pay you that. We'll just recast you.
Okay. Well, like I said, okay, so we'll reward it to a pay dispute, okay? But my point being, though, is that they don't really recast too often, and the times they do, it's been very extreme situations. Like I was saying, Terrence Howard got recast because of a pay dispute. Edward Norton got recast because of creative differences, and he had a bad experience with Universal. Who else? I'm trying to remember. Actor who played General Ross. I'm forgetting his name.
William Hurt.
William Hurt has been recast as Harrison Ford because William Hurt passed away. So the three
they recast William Hurt?
Yeah.
Or did they recast Thunderbolt Ross?
They recast Thunderbolt Ross, sorry. But my point being is like they only recast like 3 times. So it's not like it's an often thing.
Hold up, we got to talk about this. CGH says lurkers have been exposed via membership gifting. Anyway, just remove the post-credit scene as a deleted scene and then have Dr. Doom or X-Men villain. Thank you, CGH, for the $5.50 Canadian. I don't know. I guess I missed this because I do not have the YouTube up and I did not see.
No, I think it's just random who gets picked to get a gift though. I don't think it's lurkers who get gifted.
Yeah, no, it's whoever's.
No, but he's saying what he's saying is someone who was not talking. They got a gift, so then it exposed who they were.
Okay. I guess.
Okay, so CJH, thank you. He gifted 5 memberships. Justy Views, Loki Doki, Slopes Game Room. What's up, Slopes? Haywood Jablomi and Amico Ferry. They're the ones who got the memberships. That doesn't show up on StreamYard for some reason.
It does not. Yeah, the membership stuff and the gifts don't show up.
And that is true. Cassie Lang did get recasted.
I forgot about Cassie Lang, yeah. Which was a very needless recast. Like, there's really no reason to recast.
You could have just kept
wanted
that
a bigger name.
From Endgame.
Yeah, but they wanted a big name. They wanted a bigger name, which is whatever.
Because honestly, the one they got to replace her in Quantumanium, I thought was like one of the weak points of the film.
She's a good actress, though.
She's a good actress, but like I didn't like her in that role as Cassie. Like it just felt off.
Yeah, she's an alright actress, Catherine Newton. But you forgot Ed Norton was recast.
I already said Ed Norton.
Twice they recast the Hulk twice, so it's precedent. Either way, they said that there's no talks, right? There's no. So, but last week, right, a couple days ago, there was already rumors. According to Jeff Snyder, Marvel Studios is looking for a Damson Idris type actor if needed to replace Jonathan Majors as the MCU's King the Conqueror. Speaking on the Hot Mic podcast, Snyder brought up Idris, who is set to play opposite Brad Pitt in Apple's upcoming movie set in the world of Formula One. Here's one I wanted to talk about. Did you see who got cast in that Brad Pitt racing movie? Damson Idris. I think he's from Snowfall. And so that's like a big part, right? That is the young hotshot racer opposite Brad Pitt in the $200 million racing movie. That was a big deal that he got that. And again, even though he hasn't been in any movement on the Jonathan Majors front, I've heard that that's the kind of actor who, like if Jonathan Majors got the boot as Kang, someone like Damson Idris is the type of person that Marvel may look at to replace him if that in fact happens. So why would Jeff Snyder is saying, well, there's at least rumblings like this is the type of person.
Yeah, that's weird. Like if they're already talking about like here's the type we're looking at in case we need to like I don't know. That's very.
So now we got 2 different stories, right? One story is that there's been no talks at all of even thinking about recasting, and then the other one's like, well, if they've at least considered this is the type of actor they want, right? Extra Hero says thanks TGD for knowing the story to cut down on the slander. Yeah, Terrence Howard. I mean, do I think he was worth the money? No, but I mean they did promise him, and that's what that was the deal that they had made. They should have honored it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, ultimately to me, I don't really mind because I think Don Cheadle was good, and I think ultimately he got to do a lot more for obvious reasons. And I think he made Rhodey his own. But Terrence Howard in the first Iron Man was good. He wasn't bad by any means.
Isn't Terrence Howard a lot younger though?
No, they're on the same age, I think, aren't they?
Well, I'll look it up.
I know
Terrence
both of them
Howard
are old. I know both of them are older gentlemen, but I think they're about the same age.
Let's see. Terrence Howard is.
He's 54. Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle's 58, so it's like a 4-year age difference.
Okay, so he's a few years older.
Oh shit! CJH with another. He's dropping all the money. CJH must have got paid today. He says John Boyega would eat up that kangaroo. I don't think so. I mean, he would do good. I agree with that, but I don't think he would go for it because I'm pretty sure he's still not happy with Disney.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even the Disney thing too. But like, as a big actor, like a named actor, he could just be cast as a different Marvel character. Like, why would you want to step into a role like to replace someone because of a controversy? Like, that's something that a new actor would have to come in, like a Jameson Idris, because that's like a no name. Not to be disrespectful, I mean, like, it's a name that no one's really heard of, right? So it might be easier to slide that kind of actor in to replace him because there's no sense of like, oh, it's like this big name coming in. It's like, oh,
I don't even think that's it, RJ. I think even with Jonathan Majors, he wasn't really anybody, right? He was up and comer, but he wasn't really like this huge star, and that's why he was
right on the cups of like stardom though. Like his star.
That's what I said. He was coming up, but he wasn't a star yet, so you could lowball him. He wasn't going to demand the kind of money that a John Boyega would demand, right? And especially with so many roles and so many appearances and all the demands on the character of King, that's why a Damson Idris type person, not just the look, but his relative unknownness, you could get him cheap to play a bunch of shit, right? Whereas John Boyega is gonna be like, well, you want me to play like 6 characters? That's gonna be like $100,000 each, right? On top of the $1 million you got to pay me just to star as fucking King.
Yeah.
Who would you get, RJ? Anthony Beltry wants to know.
I don't know. It's hard to really pick an actor. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough thing because like I've gotten so used to Jonathan Majors as King, like it's hard for me to like see it as anyone else right now. Not to say not someone couldn't step into that, but it's hard for me to like picture a reality where we have to recast.
You can't even.
I mean, if I'm gonna throw out a name, I mean, I looked up that Damson Idris guy. I mean, he has the look. I've not seen him perform though, so I can't speak to his acting prowess. But I mean, maybe him. I don't know.
I'm gonna throw a name out here. Wayne T. Carr.
No, he's gonna be busy being Green Lantern, man.
Oof. Oof. I mean, I'm looking at him, right?
Actually, you know what's funny though? A lot of people have suggested to cast Ray Fisher to replace Jonathan Majors, and not like as a joke. I mean, like people are genuinely campaigning for that right now.
I would say Wayne T. Carr is King. See, yeah, Blue Jay agrees. He looks very similar to Jonathan Majors, so like he would slide in, whereas people wouldn't really, wouldn't be as jarring as someone else. And if not him, Aldous Hodge.
Aldous Hodge could actually be really good. Actually, that's a good pick. No, Blue Jay, not Tyler Perry.
No, I wouldn't mind Damson. Damson's only like 2 years younger than Jonathan Majors. He's really close in age.
Hugh Super J says, having New King kill CGI deepfake face Jonathan Majors King, problem solved. New King is the true King. Yeah. Let's cast a white actor.
Here's the other thing, too, I didn't even think about. If they drop Jonathan Majors, they have to pay out the rest of his contract. And
would they?
Potentially. Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Because that's actually built into contracts now.
I don't think they would.
No, but here's the thing.
No, the reason why.
Morality clause.
No, well, actually, that's a good point. But in case they have to,
Yeah, but that's why they wouldn't. If this is the case, I'm 100% positive they have a morality clause in the contract, and if he gets caught, arrested, they're not going to pay him out. But sorry, you're in jail. We're not going to pay you to be in jail while we're shooting movies, right?
no, that's true. I don't think he'd go to jail though. They probably just
Well, also, I thought
find him.
Marvel was no longer doing those big contracts they were doing like the first few phases.
No, not for all the actors, but Jonathan Majors did sign a big one because he's contracted to be in like a ton of movies.
Because he's doing so many parts.
Yeah, because he's doing so many parts and it's so many different projects. He's like one of the last people that got like a big contract like that.
Well, the thing is, like the contracts that we used to hear about from Marvel, they would tell you how many projects you were signed for. So, while I know he's probably signed for a bunch of movies, I don't know how many movies that includes and how many shows. Because like I remember like back in the day, Sebastian Stan like signed like a big contract with Marvel that was like apparently like 9 movies or something, or like 9 projects. So like it was a lot easier back in the day to know like how many projects an actor was doing.
Well, that's what Nick Fury, what the hell's his name? Samuel L. Jackson had 9 too. And then they had to re-up because they used them in so many things.
Because I also know, I think Don Cheadle said like I guess like Armor Wars is where his contract's gonna like finally be done. Because some of these actors are still, it sounds like some of these actors are still fulfilling their contracts from like many phases ago.
Yeah, that's why they've been using people sparingly. Like, okay, he's got like 3 appearances left. Let's hold him off. Beltry says Jonathan Majors was allegedly paid almost $550,000 for his role as Kang the Conqueror in the movie. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
CGH dropping another super chat. What if the kid from Iron Man 3 is a Kang variant? That's what I said. I said they should just have RDJ come back. Could you imagine Kang shows up, pulls off the helmet, and it's RDJ. He's a Kang variant, just like in the comics with Iron Lad, where Iron Lad became he was a Kang variant. Thank you, CGH. I appreciate the money. But going from one recast to just a regular casting, we got to talk about this because my man RJ was on Twitter. He was hot on Twitter. He was very upset. He says there is something severely fucked up going on here with this casting.
I mean, okay, yeah. If you look at that picture, it don't look good.
It looks fine to me. I see 2 actors playing 2 characters.
You don't notice anything wrong with like the melanin level of those actors.
I mean, she's playing the chick. I hope she's not playing the dude, right? I know it's like
yeah.
chick, dude, chick.
Like, okay, you look at.
I see 2 Hawaiians.
Animation.
I see 2 Hawaiians
look at the
playing Hawaiian characters.
To the actors.
Oh, so the color of the skin matters when we cast characters now?
I mean, to me,
yes or no?
Case,
yes or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, only in this case. Why? Because they've gone from dark skin to light skin. That's why it matters?
To be honest, I think you should cast accurately all the time, personally.
Oh, really? Because when we were talking about Little Mermaid, you didn't have that opinion, RJ. Wait, when did you have this sudden epiphany?
I think realizing it going the other way, I think it just points out the hypocrisy of it. So I think it should just be consistent across the board, personally. The other thing is, too, I think they just shouldn't be doing these remakes, period. But if you're going to do a remake, like, why not try and make it look authentic?
So what you're saying is when they cast characters from a pre-established medium to a new medium, they should try to make it look as accurately to the previous version as possible.
Well, especially
up to and including race.
Well, I was going to say, when it matters to the actual characters and who they are, yes. Because Nani, okay, and David being the way that they are and looking the way they do, like, it's meant to represent their culture. I know they cast, like, they're, like, Polynesian or something, but they're, like...
Hawaiian. She's Hawaiian, Filipino, and...
okay. My point being, though, is that, like, it feels like it's, like, extreme colorism in Hollywood, which is still a problem.
You know those actors can get tans before the movie, right?
It's not about tans, though. I want to just cast, like, authentically darker-skinned actors. They do exist.
RJ. Do you know how racist that sounds right now?
How is that racist?
How is that racist? Well, here's why and how it's racist. You might not know this, but I am a Chicano of Mexican descent. During the winter time, RJ, when there's not a lot of sun out, I get very, very white skinned. In fact, I can pass as a white person during the winter. It's amazing. But as soon as summer rolls around, I am brown as fuck. Okay? How do we know? I don't know these two actors. I don't know their history, their melanin count, but it's very possible that they could get darker if they're exposed to some sunlight.
Okay.
So they might actually
I
have
mean-
skin tones that are very reminiscent of the cartoon.
So basically, you're saying that they should be tanned up.
No,
To
I'm
basically
saying
be
I
like
don't know what they look
brown-faced.
like. I don't know what they look like outside of these two pictures here.
That's pretty much what they look like based on all the images of these actors we've seen.
Well, the actress she is of Hawaiian descent, so
She's of Hawaiian descent, but like she's also part white. Which again, I don't have an issue with like that actress. I think that like they'll probably do a fine job. I'm just saying it's very weird to me. Oops, sorry, hold on.
RJ's dog agrees with us. That's why RJ's dog is getting mad.
Sorry. The point I was trying to make though is that what's weird to me about this, right, is it's like, okay, so when it's The Little Mermaid, you want to cast a black actress and you want to try and make it more diverse. But when you have an authentic, diverse property like Lilo and Stitch, which is based in Hawaii with darker skinned characters, you opt to cast lighter skinned actors. It's just very weird.
No,
to
they
me.
didn't.
Like
they,
your priorities
they
are just
cast
out. I'm saying
RJ. They
priorities
cast
are out of whack.
the best actors for the role.
I don't think they did. I think it's to push an agenda.
How do you know? So you're saying that they might cast actors based on their skin color and not their ability?
I'm saying
This sounds like total bullshit because I was told that actors are only cast for their ability. And, best actor
mean,
for
they
the
could-
role.
they
Is that
could've-
why
they-
Jonathan Majors became Kang? Isn't that why the chick, I forget, Hal Bailey, she's the Little Mermaid. That's why Jimmy Olsen's actor turned into a black guy. That's why all those characters were turned black because those are just the best actors.
I mean,
for the
again, I
roles.
think it's a combination of things. I'm sure that there might have been something with their auditions and maybe they really like those actors. But I do think sometimes when they do cast, yeah, there is sometimes an agenda they want to push. It just depends on what angle they want to go for. In the
And you
case of
think
Little
that pushing
Mermaid,
agenda in acting is wrong, right?
it depends on. Well, here's the thing, right?
Come over to our side, RJ. Come on.
It's not
It's
I'm
right
trying to
there.
come over to your
The
side.
line's right there. Just walk right over it. Cross over.
I'm just saying when it comes to this casting in particular, I think Disney's priorities are out of whack because they should be lifting up the opportunities for darker skinned actors when it comes to this property because it already exists. That opportunity is there. So why not do something with it? But instead, they're focusing on diversifying a property that doesn't really need to be diversified.
I didn't know that that's
You know
what
what I'm
they're
saying?
focusing on. I think they just cast an actress. Disney literally didn't come out and say, "Hey, we're purposely casting a light skinned actress for this role to diversify
Well,
it." Have you seen any word of diversity being slung around by
Well,
Disney or the marketing team?
my point is that they should be consistent, and I don't think this is very consistent.
They are consistent. They cast the best actor for the role.
Well,
That's what I
here's the
was told.
question: how many like Hawaiians that auditioned for this role were even dark skinned to begin with?
Well,
We don't
none of
even know
us
that
can,
for certain.
none of us can say because we're not there in that process.
Exactly. So we don't even know like if they even had that opportunity. I mean, is the actor Hawaiian as well?
Yeah, they're both Hawaiian. From what I understand, and he's like an up and coming. He's like a nobody.
Yeah, because I never heard of this guy before.
But from my understanding, isn't like her sister also an actress that I think works for Disney? Like they know the family. It's not like a complete unknown. She's British, Irish, and Hawaiian Filipino. Because I know she has a younger sister that's also an actress. Which is weird that they cast her, but not the younger sister in the movie. But I think the younger sister is a little old to be Lilo. Oh man.
I mean, this is a project that I was kind of iffy on because I don't know when it comes to like seeing these Disney live action remakes, seeing movies that I grew up watching, like remember seeing in theaters, all of a sudden become live action remakes, just feels very odd to me.
You Super J says Al Pacino played the Cuban and he was fucking awesome. Yeah. Finbar says, with all the race swapping Disney has done with all their other properties, do we really need to be pissed off at this? They cast Hawaiians to play Hawaiians. Get over it, RJ.
Well, no, it's not. I'm not saying that they didn't cast Hawaiians. My whole thing is that it feels like colorism.
But why does it feel like that? See, you're making an assertion, and I want to know where you're basing this on. What has they said that led you to this reasoning, other than they just?
I think when it comes to Disney, they clearly want to push a diverse agenda, which I have no problem with diversity. I want to make that very clear. But they want to push a very diverse agenda with their casting and their projects. They want to appeal to a worldwide market, right? Okay. But there's a lot of dark-skinned people that exist in our world that exist as customers for your products. So why are you not trying to appeal to them?
Also, white people don't appeal to dark-skinned people now?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, if you're all about representation, right, and you want to represent people from around the world, why is it that when you cast to quote unquote do diversity, right, you don't cast like darker skinned actors and actresses when it comes to opportunities where they exist? But when it's a white character, they will cast a dark skinned actor to play that character. It's just very weird to me.
So what you're saying is that they shouldn't have cast Halle Bailey as Ariel.
I don't think they should have made the movie, period. How about that? Because I honestly think that movie.
You are so tiptoeing around, like you don't want to just admit it, like you're afraid that you're like, oh fuck, Geeks and Gamers were right.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just being honest.
Ryan Kittle's watching this right now. He's like, say it, RJ. I know you want to say it.
No, what I'm saying is it's like they shouldn't have made the movie, period. That's my whole point. It's what my whole point has been.
Well, we said that from the beginning. Like, they should have never made any live action cartoons. But Disney's going to do that. So they went ahead and did that. Finbar's right. But RJ, you don't get pissed when they go darker. You only get pissed when they go lighter. Why? What's the difference? Is it only okay to do it one way and not the other?
I think in general, the whole race swapping thing is antithetical. Like, it ultimately shouldn't be done because
someone clip that.
Why? It doesn't be
because RJ agrees with us.
It's not that I agree per se. My whole point though is just like when it comes to race swapping, I think oftentimes it's done very lazily when you should be creating new opportunities for actors of color.
That's exactly my whole stance. That has been my stance consistently across the board since covering race swapping on my channel and in my life. I've always said that. I've always even said, why race swap a Marvel character when there's several characters of color, whether it's Latino.
But I guess the thing is with me, it's just like, just to explain further, if the race doesn't matter to the character, I don't have as big of an issue with it because.
But this isn't a race issue, RJ. We clearly said that both of these actors are Hawaiian. The race of the characters are Hawaiian, so the issue isn't race, right?
Well,
let's call a spade a spade.
Hawaiian's not a race, though.
It's an ethnicity. Clearly, an ethnicity is not the issue either.
I'm talking about the actual physical skin color.
So what you're talking about is skin tone, not ethnicity, not race. Skin tone, right? Because you don't care if an Italian gets cast as a German. You don't care if a Irish gets cast as an Englishman or a Scottish as an American from like New Jersey, right? What you care about is the skin tone.
What I care about is in a case like Lilo and Stitch, why not try and give opportunities to actors with darker skin color who are out there looking for work, especially when you're a company trying to push
name
diversity.
3 of them.
I can't name 3
Name
Hawaiian actors with darker skin color off the top of my head,
Name one.
like to be in these roles.
Yeah, one, just one. You said they're out there, so you should know one, right? You're so concerned. This is an issue that affects you so deeply, and you're so concerned about it that you should at least have one person in mind to play one of either of these roles. Whether it's
I can't come up with
Nani.
names off the top of my head.
It shouldn't be off the top of your head because, again, this has affected you in such a deep way that you made a tweet about it. You're very upset. Clearly, you've thought about this issue, and clearly you have someone in mind that should have gotten this role because they're out there, right?
Yeah, I have one. Actually, I do.
Okay, well, give us the name.
Emma Stone should have played Nani.
See, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, RJ. I'm sorry to say this, but you are a Twitter, a protester, right? It's bad, it's wrong, and then we go, we'll solve the problem. Give us an answer, and you're like, oh, I don't fucking know.
I can't come.
I didn't look into the issue.
Head.
I didn't actually care about the issue. I just wanted to tweet about it.
No, I care about like the authentic casting when it comes to this property. I mean, Lilo Stitch is one of my favorite movies, and I don't think they should be making a live action remake of it. I think it's going to be a disaster, like all the other ones. But it's just for me, it's just like it just feels very like it's just colorism in Hollywood striking again, and it feels like it's very hypocritical coming from a company that's pushing diversity so hard, not realizing like what the issue is. Like it's a very brain dead decision to me.
Finbar says, but you're dancing around the argument. Either race swapping is wrong all around or it's okay. You can't choose when to be offended by it. If you choose when you're outraged by it, that makes you racist. Boom. Thank you, Finbar. Exactly. How come no one is acknowledging how Samoans and Polynesian people look in reality? The animation was a bit exaggerative with the skin and eyes. They are fair-skinned, mixed-race people.
Oh, no. I understand. Like, listen, not all Samoans and Hawaiians look the same, but there are darker-skinned Samoans and Hawaiians out there. I mean, it's not like... I mean, listen. I don't know. Maybe the movie will be good. Maybe it won't. We'll see. But, I don't know. To me, at least, it just when you put... Like, when you look at the images of the actors next to the characters, it's very off-putting. You know? And I guess, like, for some people, maybe that's how they felt with the Ariel thing, too. You know? But I guess for me, and maybe this is, like, something I can admit to you, I don't have as close an emotional connection to Little Mermaid as I do Lilo and Stitch. So maybe that's also a reason why I don't notice it or care as much about it. Which, I mean, that I can point out as like being potentially hypocritical on my part. You know, I think sometimes we're selective about the things we like and care about when it comes to adaptations of them.
I mean, did anybody care that Tia Carrera is the voice of Nani in the cartoon? She's as far as I know, she's not Hawaiian. And she's very light-skinned.
I honestly didn't know.
So again, you are someone who's very deeply concerned about the issue, but did zero research into the history of the characters.
Well,
you said this is something that's very means something to you.
Well,
you had no idea who the voice actor.
If we want to get into that whole thing, I mean, I don't think it's a big issue. Like who does a voice because a voice is a voice. Like the whole point is that it's called acting. You're voice acting.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget like, the voice.
Wait,
Aladdin.
hold on. So what you're saying is it's okay for someone of any race to voice a character of any race in a cartoon.
I think sometimes it's a case-on-case basis, but in general, I don't have an issue with that.
Oh my!
In general, I don't have an issue with that.
So it's when white people voice non-white people that's when.
Well, for example, I didn't care that a white guy voiced Cleveland Brown in Family Guy. I didn't care. I mean, the whole recasting thing was whatever. I mean, I wasn't upset about it. I thought it was silly, but
Don't forget in the 1992 Aladdin film, the guy that played the boyfriend in Full House voiced Aladdin.
Oh, I know. Like Aladdin had a super white cast. Oh, I know.
Okay, so Blind and Braille says both RJ and Tony have no clue that this ethnicity is literally light skin. I have a clue. We're not talking about. We're talking about the way it was in the cartoon, right? Whether or not the actual ethnicity looks like that is not the point. The point is that's the way they look in the cartoon, right? It's like Flounder. Flounder is yellow and blue, right? If he's not yellow and blue in the damn live action Little Mermaid, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, right? He's supposed to be yellow and blue. That's his colors. Those are the colors that he is in the cartoon. They made these characters this dark skinned in the cartoon. That was them. right? Sun helps. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, let these guys go out in the sun for a little while. SJWs are hypocrites. I agree. Extra Hero says, I'd love to join the conversation about race swapping. I will throw you a link, Extra Hero. I'm going on this is for Extra Hero. Putting it in the chat. If you want to pop in and give us your 2 cents on this. Joshua Perez says you got double standards, RJ. We need folks. I think that would be probably more issue is that they are not. Though it's probably hard to get. Like he looks fit enough to play the dude, but Nani was very exaggerated thickness.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck it up.
Blinder was going nuts. Holy shit! Google they have this.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Mushu wasn't even in the live action. What?
Yeah, that was like the most offensive like live action remake just for not having Mushu.
Case by case basis, lol, fucking RJ. I know somebody mentioned that this could be an issue with China, and a lot of people don't like to admit, and I've talked about this before, but China and actually Japan too, they are very they don't like dark skin people as much. George, are you getting feedback?
What?
It sounds like you're getting feedback. Like when I talk, I can hear noise coming out of your.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I don't think the animation is accurate at all. I've seen you act like I've never seen Samoans or Tongans or people from the Pacific Islands. I watch wrestling. There's like a whole clan of them. We're just waiting on Extra Hero if he's going to pop in. It's not. It's like Aladdin and Jasmine. Yeah, that was an issue with Aladdin and Jasmine. Someone else brought that up. Y'all must not see. I've seen, like I said, I've seen Samoans and Tongans, Barbarian, Warlord, all the Islanders, Samoan SWAT team. I watch wrestling. The Rock. Donovan says, I can care less about Lilo live action. The major stuff is priority for me right now. It's crazy. His age. Yeah, we talked about that. Blue Jay says this argument is ridiculous, to be honest. Which one? The having them being cast?
I'm pretty sure it's this whole casting thing we spent like 20 minutes on.
Well, I'm sorry if I like to discuss an issue completely and to actually get you to admit whether or not you're right. You're the one who made the tweet, RJ.
Well, you're the one who brought up the tweet, though. I mean, most of my Twitter is not to be taken that seriously.
Well, I was going to talk about. I actually have an article to go along with that. We just stopped at your tweet.
There you go.
Because this is from BuzzFeed. The internet is outraged over Disney's casting of Nani, and I swear to God that. Yeah, I don't know what it is, George, but there's like feedback coming from your mic.
Wait, what do you mean by feedback? I'm confused.
Okay, so when I talk, there's like a in the background.
Well, I'll fix my mic to see how, like, what's going on.
Maybe it's your headphones or you had a TV on. What's up, Extra Hero? You're here to.
What's going on?
Now that we just here discussing race swapping, and you said you wanted to drop some knowledge, so.
I just wanted to say that. So usually I'm pro, and this is going to make me.
You dropped it. Your audio went out.
So there's actually a huge lag on my end. My bad. But so usually I'm pro live action remakes whenever, and I'm also pro pro race swapping whenever, just because I think it's good to have different versions. Like a different version doesn't take away from the version that you may know and love.
Are you listening to us through the StreamYards or through the YouTube? Because if you're listening through YouTube, it's going to give you lag and it's going to make you behind.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna try to do this next time, but in the meantime, I'm gonna learn more about StreamYard, and then I'll be happy to chime in the future. But thanks for having me.
I mean, we could just give you the floor if you want, and you could just talk, and then.
Is he streaming through his phone?
I don't know. 56K Warning says Johnny Tsunami was terrible. This live action might be no different. Well, thanks for trying to join in, Extra Hero. I'm assuming he was going to say that usually he is pro race swapping, but this instance he's not.
Yeah.
Well, I was getting confused because his audio was going in and out.
No, what happened was he was lagging, so he said a little, and then he heard us talking, and he stopped. Uh-oh. Finbar's bringing it up. He says, let's say we decided to have a different version of T'Challa, and that different version was white. Would the world be cool with that, or would there be riots? Probably riots.
I'm not getting into that whole thing.
I mean
because if I say my opinion, Tony will go on like a 15-minute rant. So
15-minute guaranteed.
Because I think in the case of Black Panther, like that's like no Wakandan should be white, and the Black Panther is not a white character.
Why should no Wakandans be white, RJ?
Oh, you had to say that, RJ.
Yeah, you had to open up the can of worms. But why should no Wakandans be white?
So BuzzFeed talks about Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, what's up, Nerdette? She says riots.
Get out the pitchforks and torches.
Here's why. Give darker skinned Pacific Islanders the visibility we need. I'm pretty sure The Rock is a Pacific Islander who's pretty dark skinned. Sometimes. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Disney has tapped Sydney Agudong to play Nani Palake in Disney's upcoming live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. The article states that Sydney was born and raised on the island of Hawaii, and doesn't mention if she is a native Hawaiian. I wasn't able to find any reputable sources or interviews confirming that she is, though the discourse online says she is multiracial with some Hawaiian ancestry. So I'm just going to assume that Disney wouldn't cast someone who isn't native Hawaiian for the role of Nani. The casting choice sparked immediate backlash across social media. Here's why. Pacific Islanders have notoriously little representation in Hollywood, and the majority of Pacific Islanders celebs who do find fame in the U.S. are light-skinned, despite many, many Islanders coming in a range of darker skin tones. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know who this chick is. Anyone know who that is?
That might be Ali Carvalho from Moana, maybe. I had to look. I think that's who it is. I could be wrong though.
And that's obviously
Emma Stone.
Jason Momoa. My man.
That's not to say that these light-skinned actors are any less Pacific Islander than our darker brothers and sisters. I myself am a light-skinned Polynesian. But colorism is absolutely a problem in the industry and needs to be called out. Needs to be called out, gentlemen. So Lilo and Nani's looks were a big part of what made Lilo and Stitch iconic for many folks in the Pacific Island community. With her brown skin and body shape, Nani became the first mainstream representation for many Pacific Islanders. So you see how it because it mattered to certain people, we should keep it, right? I'm sure certain people were really
well. Here's your problem,
in
Tony.
tune with
here's your problem. I mean, we're reading a BuzzFeed article, so That's our first problem, to be honest.
No, that's not our first problem. I specifically chose the BuzzFeed article to give the other side, right? If I'm going to have an argument, I already know my side. I already know what I think. Was I going to pull a little clownfish TV where they're going to say the things that I agree with? That makes no sense. Why would I pull up an article that's going to essentially say the same thing I'm going to say? BuzzFeed is on the other side, so I want to get what their interpretation of the issue is and how they see it to give a fair and balanced take on the issue we're discussing. That's how you do it.
Okay.
And again, so their takeaway is that certain people connected with the character based on their skin and body shape. And I'm sure, again, if you go back to Little Mermaid, little redhead girls, little white-skinned redhead girls probably connected with Ariel, right? So why take that away from them? Casting an actor without these features has sent the internet into an uproar. Many Pacific Islanders were upset at Disney for taking away this opportunity for representation. But not all Pacifica are darker. Nani it's 2023. Stop glorifying Eurocentric beauty standards in the name of erasing characteristics and features integral to ethnicities, especially in terms of representation. Give darker-skinned Pacific Islanders the visibility we deserve. That's what Free Palestine at the Book Osor said. Again, I don't disagree. I don't disagree that there are darker-skinned Pacific Islanders, right? And I don't disagree that they should be given opportunities in Hollywood, 100%. I disagree that you should be able to determine that this specific character needs to remain accurate to the source material and others don't, right?
What does George think?
Oh my goodness.
Finbar says there's an entire nation in Africa that was a majority white at one point. Why that happened, or if it's right that it happened, is irrelevant. In fact, is African people can be white. They can. Also, Wakanda is a fictional country. It doesn't exist. It's not real.
It's a fictional country. It's always been depicted as being inhabited by all African blacks.
The way you said that was sounding racist.
That wasn't. I'm just being honest.
And actually, it hasn't been depicted that way, RJ. The White Wolf does exist, and he was the adopted son of T'Chaka, making him T'Challa's brother.
Adopted, though.
Yeah, they accepted
he's not
the white kid.
actually Wakandan, though.
No, he's not. He's 100% European white.
Yeah, so he's not Wakandan.
His plane crashed, and he fell into.
But he's not Wakandan.
He is Wakandan. They adopted him into the culture. They
adopted him, but he's not like an actual Wakandan.
He's like the Mandalorian. The Din Djarin is not actually from Mandalore, but he is a Mandalorian as much as anyone else. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, but I don't think it works like that in Wakanda.
It does, because they literally adopted him and made him a prince of Wakanda.
Okay, but Black Panther still can't be black.
He still can't be black?
Or he can't be white.
Why not?
Because literally, it's Black Panther and...
Black Panther, the black in the Black Panther has nothing to do with...
Well, it's not that. I meant, it's Black Panther, plus he's part of the royal family, right? Typically. The royal family of Wakanda is black.
But they could just change it. They can make them all white.
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because it's integral to the characters.
How is it integral?
Because literally they live in a fictional African nation.
So if that
people who live in Africa are black.
So in the fictional African nation of Wakanda, where a meteor crashed, you could say that the radiation from the meteor has caused this particular region to turn people white.
It doesn't work that way.
Evolution does. We know that people all came from Africa, but white people exist. So somewhere along the line, because the ability to go from being black to white. Because the ancient
ape people, freaking, when the continent split up, okay, they went north when it's more cold and there's not natural sunlight that can genetically over thousands of years alter your skin, or whatever.
So what you're saying is, what you're saying is, if Idris Elba continues to live in England and have kids with African descent, they'll eventually turn white because they live in England.
No, that's not how that works.
Why? In millions of years, eventually, right?
Well, in millions of years, they're probably all going to be dead. The Earth will probably be gone, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Humans haven't been around for millions of years, first off, right? Secondly, if we all came from the same common ancestor, then the ability should be there. Whether or not the melatonin receptors are active
Are
or
you
not.
going with the argument that we're all descendants from black people, so we're all black?
I didn't say that.
Okay, that's where it seemed like you were going with that, so I was making sure.
The
I have
oldest,
seen some people argue that.
the oldest known human fossil was actually found in Europe, not Africa.
I'd love to see the research on that because every evidence points to life beginning in Africa.
I'll show you the research if you want. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, we'll go down because
this debate just got off the rails.
It's not a debate. I mean, because RJ is literally saying that Africa, in a fictional country, in every reality, has to be there. Could be
The
no
character was
reality.
created with the intention of being black.
And so, how many characters were created with the intention of being white that are now black?
In terms of like what characters were created with the intention of being white that are now black, it's probably
the Human Torch was intended to be white, but they turned him black for a movie.
Yeah, they did.
And no one, were you outraged for that?
I was outraged that the movie was dog shit.
The movie was dog shit.
I wasted like an hour and 40 something minutes on that film.
Oh,
I'm not using white supremacist arguments maliciously or unmaliciously. I'm making a simple observation. I know some people don't like observations, right? The fact of the matter is, personally, and I've said this before, right? No one will buy it, right? No one will buy it. If they made a white African Wakanda, right? If Wakanda was a white nation in the MCU, it would fucking tank. The movie would suck. It would probably be crap, and everyone would shit on it, right? Because we'd all we'd roll our eyes. That's how stupid it would be. Correct? We all agree with that, right?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
If in the MCU they made Wakanda a white nation in the heart of Africa, and everybody was white, and the Black Panther was a white guy, it would be incredibly stupid, and it'd probably be eye-rolling bad, right? We could agree to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because that is the reality doesn't mean that the ability for that to happen does not exist. That is the argument I'm making. I am not making the argument that the Black Panther should be a white guy. I'm not making the argument that we should make Wakanda white. I am making the argument that it is a possibility, that it can happen, that if they choose to do so, that it could be done. Not that it would be successful, not that people would accept it, not that there wouldn't be upset people, but that it is something that a creative mind could do. That is my argument, my sole argument.
Sure. I mean, you could do it. Just like I could go out and run over like 20 pedestrians on the road. Doesn't make it right.
I didn't say it was right. That was never the argument. The argument was never this is the right thing to do.
I mean, yes, a writer and an artist.
You literally said it can't happen. Your argument was this cannot happen.
Well,
and
okay.
You gave reasons why. And
I'm
I said,
saying
no,
that
ethically,
and in terms of like the modern world we live in, it would probably never happen.
I didn't say it would happen either. That's not the argument. The argument isn't that would it happen. The argument is could.
But again, that's just kind of like semantics and wordplay at the end of the day. Like the whole point is, could a writer with a pen and a pencil pick up, and get the okay from a corporation one day, hundreds of years from now, to make Black Panther a white guy? Sure, I guess it could. But it doesn't really mean that it's ever going to happen, that it should happen, nor does it mean that the character should not actually be depicted as black.
So what you're saying is you agree with me and we can move on. Got it.
No.
Oof.
You literally repeated everything I just said.
I don't think I did. I don't even know what we're talking about at this point.
Nani has thick legs and thighs, brown skin, and curves that was so cool to see growing up because I didn't feel so insecure about my fat ass body. I mean, my body. Again, she's probably going to be just fine, but man. That's from Lonnie M. She's really concerned.
God damn, almost 31,000 likes.
Yeah. Not being indigenous or from a POC community, it may not be easy to see a problem with this casting. But I am from a POC community. But within our communities, this is a big issue. Is it? It's not really an issue in my community. No offense to Sydney, but Nani is indigenous Hawaiian with strong features and dark skin. This casting is blatant colorism.
You know what the bigger issue is?
The hypocrisy among the SJWs.
No, the cast an actress with no ass.
I don't know how old she is, so I'm going
Legs.
to hold my comments on that.
Oof.
Literally, no one asked for a live action Lilo and Stitch the movies, and shows are perfect. As a brown kid, I didn't have a lot of representation growing up, and seeing Disney not cast brown actors to play Nani and Lilo so hurtful. Disney do better. Disney do better. Why is that? I don't understand. This all makes my head hurt so much.
She's 22, by the way, so don't worry.
Okay. 56. Colorism is a huge deal. Colorism is an issue in the black community.
It is. That's why I said colorism earlier. It is an issue in Hollywood. Hollywood likes casting lighter-skinned black actors so it can play better in overseas markets. That's well, especially China and countries where, you know, darker-skinned people are not as naturally accepted, you know, or marketable. So
Extra Hero says, well, anything could happen. Semantics isn't a good faith argument. Well, I'm autistic, and semantics is basically all I ever have. So you are kind of new here. But yeah, I am a semantics whore. I will semantics the shit out of everything. Finbar says that can be fixed with cake and pizza. They can thicken her up before the movie.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing, and again, as a Chicano, Mexican, Latino, Hispanic, however you want to phrase it, Mexican American, I've never, I wasn't like, man, if only there was a Mexican American character that looked like me so I could feel good about myself. It's too bad. I must now live a life of crime because there was not a Disney character that looked like me. For shame, Disney. For shame. Right? I seen white characters. I'm like, hey, that character's cool. I seen black characters. Said, hey, that character's cool. I seen Pacific Islanders, Mexicans, Chinese, Russian. Right? When the character's cool, the character's cool. I don't care what it is, what race it is, what nationality. Right? I just like characters. I like stories. Jay Cut says, you can't please people who are pleased to be displeased. Exactly. Throw the accent. Okay, so like what I say is when I grew up, there wasn't like a lot of characters. I had like Speedy Gonzalez and Slowpoke Rodriguez and Cheech from Cheech and Chong. And that's it. That's all I got. There was no George Lopez when I grew up. So I didn't have a lot of characters, but it's okay. I like the Hulk because like he gets mad and stuff and he smashes things. End of the day, it don't matter to me, I put on my Dickies one leg at a time, just like everybody else. You know what I mean? RJ, you're Latino. You know what I mean, right? Right, Holmes?
yeah.
You're supposed to be like Simone S.A.
Yeah.
How Latino are you, RJ?
Enough.
No. Well, both of you are more Latino than I am.
Jay Cut says George Lopez was doing stand-up in the 80s. Yeah, but he wasn't. He was doing stand-up like local. I'm not from L.A., from Chicago. He wasn't in my area. We didn't know who George Lopez was. He just kind of showed up one day out of nowhere. Like, fuck. who the fuck's George Lopez?
Yeah.
I remember the show from like the 2000s. It's still on in the morning before I go to work.
Yeah, that's when he showed up. When the George Lopez show came on, it was like, fuck, who the fuck's George Lopez?
Yeah.
'Cause
On
it
that
was,
lovely note, though, I must dip out because I have work in the morning. But thank you for having me on to discuss important issues in our modern society, like
No problem.
the
I mean, look,
casting of Lilo and Stitch live action remake.
Look, RJ, if you don't have discussions, then nothing's ever going to get better. If you just stick to your tribe, if you don't have any pushback, if people just agree, if they just get along, if they just go along to get along, we're never going to have any change. Nothing's going to be fixed. It's just going to be a lot of angry people. Being able to sit here and have a discussion where we have two different opposing views and neither one of us wants to stab the other at the end of it, I think that's a success. And that's what we need more of in our society.
No, I enjoy having discussions, even if we kind of get off the rails sometimes. So,
I love getting off the rails. That's the best part of the show.
True. All right, I will catch you gentlemen later. Peace out, guys.
All right. Take it easy.
Take care, RJ.
Now that the white guy's gone. All right. What else is on the docket? Let's get to something a little fun. AI-generated song using Drake and The Weeknd vocals goes viral, raising legal concerns. The Weeknd and Drake previously performed together during the Nothing Was the Same World Tour in 2014. A song using Drake and The Weeknd's vocals, generated using artificial intelligence, AI, has gone viral on TikTok. The song, titled Heart on My Sleeve, seemingly cloned the two rappers' voices to create a song about Selena Gomez, The Weeknd's ex-girlfriend. The creator of the song goes by Ghostwriter on TikTok and has shared multiple videos on the account using the new song. The original video announcing the song currently has 10 million views. 3 other videos shared by Ghostwriter each have just over 1 million views. Heart on My Sleeve was also put on Spotify by the TikTok creator, who dresses like a ghost and remains anonymous. How do you feel about this, George? AI-generated songs.
It's showing that it's more proof that AI is becoming more popular, and that it can get, and I don't want to say dangerous, but it's definitely becoming more controversial and causing these problems. Like I feel like, what was it? I don't know if it was Linkin Park. It was something with like Chester Bennington, where apparently some kind of AI issue happened, and like that annoyed a lot of people because Chester committed suicide back in 2017, so he's passed away.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long.
Damn, it seems like it was just like. It feels like it was just recent, like a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, like it's so weird. Like 2016, 2017, that time era feels like yesterday, and it's been like 6-7 years since all that.
Because I literally like this is so fucked up that it's been that long. Because I literally remember, because I used to watch Good Mythical Morning, right? And they were on, Linkin Park was on Good Mythical Morning, and then like 3 days later, he had committed suicide.
You know, it just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I was like, damn. I was like telling Sidekick Max, I was like, you remember the dudes that we just watched on Good Mythical Morning? He's like, yeah. I was like, the fucking dude killed himself. Fuck. I used to love Linkin Park. That was my college band.
You know, I enjoy their music, and obviously Drake and The Weeknd, they're still around, but obviously because like there's always been that copyright problem with music, like this is going to probably cause more problems, I feel like.
I think this is going to cause an issue that no one's talking about yet, where people are going to have to okay, you know how we're talking about actors selling their digital likenesses to movie studios already?
Yeah.
There's going to be new contracts, 100% guaranteed. There's going to be contracts that artists are going to have to sign that sign away their vocal rights or their vocal likeness right. And the fucking labels are going to start making songs with the voices of the artist, selling them and keeping all the profits. And the artists are not going to be able to, because of the contract, not be able to say anything or like speak out against it. 100%. 100% we're going to get records that were generated by AI at the label's behest without any of the artists, especially when you know how you had like really hot groups that take a while between albums, and the label doesn't want to wait 6 months, 8 months for the next album, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I'm not an expert on music or AI, but like even if you're not an expert, like seeing the trend that's happening is getting concerning.
Yeah. J Cut says we don't need people anymore. What's your thoughts on the fully autonomous McDonald's coming? I'll let you go first, George, because I have some thoughts.
Oh, this is the first time I've heard about this with McDonald's. That's definitely concerning as well. Like I know McDonald's is like a minimum wage job, but still it's a job. So I don't know the full details of it, but I feel like someone's gonna get screwed over with this.
First off, like you said, the whole idea that we're cutting out all these jobs, these minimum wage entry level positions for kids, that's fucking terrible. Number two, I hate this kind of shit. Like even like they started introducing self checkouts, right?
Oh yeah, like at the grocery stores and like the Walmarts.
Yeah, at the Walmarts and Targets and the grocery stores, right? And I always get in the regular line, right? And it's always long, the regular lines. Like I go to Target, there's a Target right by my job, and I go to it, and there's usually one register open. They got like 20 registers, but one is open, and then they got two like little sections of self checkout. So it's like 4 each. So it's like 8 self checkouts, and then one register open. And they're constantly going, hey, you don't have to wait in line. You can go to self checkout. You can hey, self checkout's open. You can come right. You know, they're trying to wave you over. And I always go, well, how much does that lady get paid to work the register? Well, she gets like $15, $16 an hour, right? So, well, how much are you going to pay me to work the register as I check myself out? I don't go to Target to work. I go to Target to have you check my groceries out, right?
Yeah, like that's the problem with my Target as well. Like when I go to Target, like 1 or 2 aisles will be open or whatever, but like there'll be like 18 others where no one's working, and there's like long lines to do self checkout. And I usually only do self checkout if I'm just like buying one thing and like I'm in a rush, like I'm on my way to work and I have to like buy something. But like when I go to, let's say, Walmart, like there's more cashiers working, so I rarely use self checkout when I go to Walmart or when I'm using Stop and Shop. So it's like really kind of Target is like the only one where I feel like I use self checkout, but it's like I feel like Target has put customers in a position to use that.
No, they try, but I don't. I refuse to use self checkout.
But like I feel like other customers in general, like they put them in that position because of the 20 the 20 registers that they have. Only two of them, maybe 3 or 4 if it's like a really busy day, will be open. But that's at most 4 if it's a busy day.
Yeah. There's more self checkouts. Yeah, but no, there's like I said, there's like 20 because it's already there, right? The 20 lanes, checkout lanes from the building. They just never removed them. There's like one open, right? It's like one fucking open. You're like, no, I'm not going to. I'll wait in the line. I will wait in the fucking line.
But like if I go to because like in New York City we don't have Walmarts, so like if I go to New Jersey to go to Walmart, because there's a few Walmarts that I'll go to, like there will be more registers open. There'll be more people working the registers compared to Target. So like if I go to Walmart, I don't really need to use self checkout, even if I'm just buying one thing, because there's a bunch of registers that are open.
Extra Hero says, so I've worked the self checkout for a long time. The whole point of self checkout is that it's more convenient than standing in line. It's a time trade. It is. It's more convenient. I agree. It's faster. It gets you out quicker. It's more convenient. You could bag your own groceries. But I don't get paid to do that shit, right? You're not giving me a discount. You pay people. When I was growing up, I used to work at a grocery store, and they had baggers, and they had the cashiers. The cashiers got like I think it was like $18 The baggers got like 13, right? That's $21 an hour. I'm not seeing any of that shit when I do it myself, right? So fuck you. I'll wait in the line. I don't have anywhere to go. I am not in so much of a hurry, right? I didn't go to fucking Target and then need to be out of Target in the next 5 minutes, okay? So I'll wait in the line. I'll wait. And I don't care that you put the 90-year-old lady in the only cashier spot and she's so fucking old that it takes her 45 minutes to check out 3 items. I will wait in the line. I'll put my headphones in. I'll listen to some music, a podcast, a stream, something. But I am not doing it. I refuse. 100%.
But like even like I've noticed this for a while because where I used to live in Pennsylvania, I also used to have like a Walmart nearby, so I felt like that Walmart. Again, there'd be more registers open compared to Target. Like even when, and I can't remember because I used to go to other Targets around Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I don't remember having that problem with those other ones, but I was a teenager back then. But the one Target on in Staten Island, like really bad when it comes to having like not that many registers open, and they'll have people work by self checkout to help customers out. So they're obviously getting paid to do something.
Yeah,
but still.
Tommy O says I hate human interaction. Send everything through Amazon. I hate most human interaction, but usually at checkout, at least traditionally, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but traditionally, the cashier is a female. So there's a good chance that there's a pretty girl at the cashier. And yes, I've hit on many a cashier, and yes, I've successfully gotten many a number at the grocery store cashier. Are you willing to bag your groceries if a cashier checks them out? No. That's why they have either bag people there or they can bag it for me. I'll wait. She got that. Don't worry. She gets paid. I don't get paid. Human interactions are the best part about being out. Yeah. So back to the AI story here. While Drake had no comment on the new single, he previously shared his thoughts about AI on Instagram. This is the final straw, AI. He shared when an AI-generated clip of him singing Ice Spice's Munch Feeling You surfaced. Record label UMG also came out against the AI-generated music using established musicians' voices. The company, one of the 3 largest in the world, reportedly sent a letter to Spotify and Apple Music requesting the streaming services prohibit AI companies from accessing music libraries. That's because they want to do it. I'm telling you, in a couple of years, maybe a couple of months, they're going to come out with their own. Especially, oh my God, do you know how many artists are going to have like Christmas albums and fucking like just like bullshit songs? Like, did you ever want to hear Drake sing the Hanukkah song? Here you go.
Oh my goodness.
Because fuck it, why not, right? If you could have AI take Drake's voice, because like Drake's like, I ain't going to sing that shit. Fuck it, boom. Here you go. Happy birthday by Drake.
But like Mariah Carey's considered like the queen of Christmas. Like imagine like people use AI like to have other artists sing like the Christmas song she's known for singing.
Drake had been doing people dirty for sucking Drake. Yeah. I'm telling you, artists, like things that they refuse to do, they don't want to compromise their art. The music labels are just like, fuck it, throw their voice in AI and give it to us. Hey, it's DSP. Either way, we're going to have deep fakes. We're going to have phony musicians. They already got holograms. Didn't they have like a hologram Tupac?
But yeah, no, this AI thing definitely, like, it is sounding like it's becoming a concern. I mean, it's one thing if you sign off on it, like some actors are signing their likeness. But if you're not, then it becomes a problem.
Bro, you know how badly I want full control over a good female singing voice? It's not my fault I was born with a bad voice. Oof. No, you sound good, Tommy. You sing the intro music. You're awesome. I've never heard this song. Ice Spice's Munch is a very addictive song, but you will 100% feel awkward singing it. What is that? Let's see. I don't even know who the hell Ice Spice is.
I've never even heard of them either.
Let me see. Ice Spice's Munch lyrics. Oof. I was gonna read the lyrics, but there's a lot of N-word in here. Just like within the first like couple of lines. I was like, whoa. Let's see. You thought I was feeling you? Nah. That N-word a munch. N-word a eater. He ate it for lunch. Bitch, I'm a baddie. I get what I like. You thought I was feeling you? Nah. Thought I was feeling you? That N-word a munch. N-word a eater. He ate it for lunch. Wow. Those are they're gonna be right up there with classics from Shakespeare.
Oh my! Barbara Streisand to sing the Amico album.
She said black trans Ronald Reagan. What? Ronald McDonald.
No, Ronald McDonald, not Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, that was more.
That'd be coming out of nowhere.
All right. Shaquille is finally served in the FTX investor suit after months of hiding, lawyers say. Shaq was a celebrity spokesman for FTX crypto that apparently was a scam. And apparently Shaq's been hiding. He's been ducking and dodging the court servers. What do they call those people? They got a name. Anyway, after months of attempting to serve Shaquille O'Neal in a lawsuit against celebrities who endorsed the now bankrupt FTX crypto platform, lawyers for a group of FTX investors said they finally succeeded on Sunday. Plaintiffs in the billion-dollar FTX class action just served Ed Shaq outside his house. The Moskowitz law firm tweeted, "His home video cameras recorded our service, and we made it very clear that he is to not destroy or erase any of the security tapes because they must be preserved for our lawsuit." Representatives for O'Neal didn't immediately respond for a request for comment. A lot of people think I'm involved, but I was just a paid spokesman for a commercial. The basketball champion told CNBC in December. Well, if that's the case, why didn't you just get served, right? Why are you ducking and dodging? O'Neal was the last of the celebrities in the class action suit to be served a legal notice, according to court documents. The lawsuit filed by heavyweight attorney Adam Moskowitz in November accuses FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, along with several public figures who endorse the platform, including Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, and Steph Curry, of defrauding investors. Moskowitz has called FTX a massive Ponzi scheme run by geniuses at public relations and marketing who enlisted the help of beloved sports and entertainment figures to promote it. I believe it. People are stupid. Justice for the Sacramento Kings. We had that whole big thing with Kim Kardashian got fined by the SEC when she was endorsing crypto. A lot of these people, they don't realize what it is they're saying, or they don't realize what they're saying could be interpreted in certain ways. You know, the laws and regulations around crypto investing, FTC, SEC, all that kind of thing. You know, they just, they pay me a bunch of money to say how great this platform is, right?
You know, like, I didn't realize like Tom Brady, Steph Curry, and others are like involved in this, not just Shaq. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess apparently they, because it says their stake will probably get wiped out. I'm guessing they had received FTX money, or at least some sort of shares in the platform as part of their promotion, right?
Yeah, probably.
Last week, a judge denied Moskowitz's attempt to serve the legal notice to O'Neal via his official Twitter and Instagram accounts after the NBA Hall of Famer repeatedly evaded agents hired to serve the documents in person. Oh my God. Are we at that stage of life now? I'm so glad the judge denied this. I don't know if this is precedent. I don't know if this is a thing that they do. But could you imagine opening your Twitter and being like, you've just been served by the court?
Oh my goodness.
Like, would it have to be a public tweet, or would they have to DM you? Right?
That would just be so awkward.
It's like, hey, at Shaquille O'Neal, you've just been served. Please like the comment so we know you've received this notification. Mr. O'Neal's conduct over the last 5 months in evading service in this action is unprecedented and frankly shocking, Moskowitz said in the motion last week. FTX collapsed into bankruptcy on November 11th after depositors and investors yanked their money amid concerns about the platform's balance sheet. Since then, federal prosecutors have charged Bankman, Fried, and several other executives with orchestrating one of the biggest financial frauds in U.S. history. Bankman Fried, who was arrested in December and is out on house arrest, has pleaded not guilty to 13 counts of fraud and conspiracy. At least 3 of his former co-workers have pleaded guilty and are cooperating with investigators. So Shaq could be in some serious trouble.
Oof, yeah.
What's up, Extra Hero? You're back. We know it's you. You're verified. You with us, Extra?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm trying to hear the audio through Streamlab instead of YouTube.
Are you using your phone or are you using a computer?
Computer.
Okay, so what you have to do is you have to close the YouTube tab and just leave the StreamYard tab open.
Okay. All right, I've closed it. I think I can hear you.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me? Am I lagging at all?
I think you might be a couple seconds, but you're good. So what's up? What's going on?
Oh, well, I have nothing to say about crypto. Well,
I know, but you have something to say about the earlier conversation, I'm guessing.
oh yeah, I love live action remakes because it gives a new audience a new chance to have a new take at things. Like you get to incorporate figures that are popular with the youths now into already classic stories, which is one of the reasons why Disney keeps remaking things, is because they know they're guaranteed to make money already. And so I'm more in favor of the live action remakes than most. And I'm okay with race swapping, as RJ said, if it doesn't break the character for some way. But I know people immersion gets broken at different levels. For instance, I believe RJ, he wasn't a fan of the Mermaid, right?
The who?
The new Little Mermaid, right?
No, he actually
RJ
was a
wasn't
fan. He was a fan of it, and then when this story came up, then he decided to change his tune.
Okay, I remember watching that stream, and because that was the stream where you were like, why cast a black person if they're not going to act black?
Yeah, I remember saying that.
That was a take, man. But yeah, I just wanted to offer that side of it.
It was one of those things.
I think New was really cool.
Yeah. It was one of those things. Like I said it, and I know. Like I think I even prefaced it like, "This is gonna sound wrong," but
yeah, you did that. You did.
Hear me out, right? Like, hold on. Yeah,
I knew enough about you to be like, well, no, this isn't that. Like it sounds like that, but it's not that. Well, see, I kind of had an issue with the Forspoken protagonist because, first of all, I thought it was really cool that they had a black chick doing it, but I felt like the dialogue was just basically modern millennial girl generic, and
it was so cringe.
I did want her to like because we do in the end of the game we see one of her parents, but I don't know the way people talk, that tells you a little bit about where they're from sometimes. So I think that would have been cool, but Forspoken had bigger issues than that. So yeah,
definitely, and I do agree that there is certain things, right? Like whether it's little local things that are to your city or to your county or country. Sometimes it's little slang that's in your area and not in other areas.
Exactly.
And so it is weird. And when they write, see, that's where I'm like, I'm okay with non-whites writing white characters or white people writing non-whites. But do the research, right? Like, okay, this is going to be a character from this area. How do they speak here? Let me talk to the people in the area and see what it is, the little vernacular that's going on.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're gonna do, and I actually don't have a problem with white people voicing characters of color either, because what's the girl who voices all the video game characters? She voiced the black chick in Uncharted, and she voices characters in Last of Us.
I don't know her name. I'm not good with those.
But Laura Bailey or something like that.
Yeah, Laura Bailey.
So I was a little upset when I found out that she voiced the black girl, but I was talking to my friends, and we were like, oh, but she did a really good job. We didn't know until we looked it up. So it was like, okay, I guess it's cool.
So breaking news. Thanks to the Twitter DM group I just seen right now. Apparently, people are a lot madder about the Lilo and Stitch remake than we thought. Arson investigation underway after fire on set of major film production in Oahu's northern shore.
Oh, wow.
Arson fire at Disney movie set. The Honolulu police, this is 34 minutes ago. The Honolulu Police Department has launched an arson investigation after a fire on the set of a major film production on Oahu's northern shore. Sources say it happened on the set of Disney's live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. Monday was supposed to be the first day of filming. According to the Honolulu Fire Department, crews received a call just before 11 p.m. Sunday for the trailer fire at the intersection of Kamehameha Highway and Kane Hall Road in Hawaii. In Halaweha? It's a Kamehameha. It's Dragon Ball Z. Honolulu Fire Department said upon arrival, brush was burning beneath one of the trailers. After further investigation, all the contents of the trailer were also on fire, including specialized costumes. Sources said. Firefighters worked to keep the fire from spreading to other nearby trailers. A total of 5 unit staff with 12 personnel responded to the incident. Crews were able to put out the blaze by 1 a.m. No injuries were reported and no workers were on scene. Shooting is expected to resume on Tuesday. The cause of the blaze is still being investigated. SJWs did it. They burned the costumes.
I mean, this is not the way to get darker actors by burning them. We got we got to do better.
Oh my God, not Lilo again. I'm sorry. RJ must have hopped a quick flight right after he popped off the panel.
No, this was before. This apparently happened before the stream.
Yeah. So that's
Are we hearing more about disasters on filming sets lately? Because I heard that story about the horse that got killed or died on the set of the Lord of the Rings spinoff.
Yeah, that was what, I think it was like a week ago.
Yeah, but I don't know. You don't, and that was an Amazon show, so even Amazon didn't have enough money to shut that up. So something's going
on. Jay Cut says, "Why isn't anyone talking about the Restrict Act? Because this isn't a political show. This is a movie entertainment show."
I mean, if it was $3 theater, maybe he would talk about it, Matt Jarbo.
Yeah. All right, here's a real quick one. Sonic the Hedgehog spinoff series Knuckles at Paramount Plus sets cast including Adam Pally, Tika Sumpter. I don't know who either of those people are. The live action Knuckles. Go ahead.
I believe we're getting Idris back because I just saw a story about him on a red carpet and he was testing out a Knuckles themed controller and he was really impressed with it. And they were saying that he was happy to return to the series.
Yeah. It says the live-action Knuckles series starring Idris Elba at Paramount Plus has assembled its cast. The show first announced in February 2022. In addition to Elba reprising the role of Knuckles, Variety has learned that Adam Pally, Happy Endings, the mini project, is set to star in the series, once again playing the role of Wade Whipple from the film franchise. Well, I guess that's the kid. I don't know. I haven't watched Sonic, so I have no idea. The film takes place between the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is slated to hit theaters December 28, 2024. In the series, Knuckles agrees to train Wade as his protege and teach him the ways of the Echidna warrior, per the official logline. Edie Patterson, Julian Barrett, Scott Mescudi, and Eli Taylor will recur in the series. Rory McCain will guest star, as will Tika Sumpter, reprising the role of Maddie from the films. Additional casting will be announced at a later date. Not much else. It's just, hey, it's happening, and there's a bunch of people in it.
Well, when I was a kid playing the old Sonic games, I always thought Knuckles was just the coolest one. Who did y'all choose back in the day? If y'all played them,
I like Tails because he could fly around and avoid most of the stuff.
Tails, yeah. Well, that's why I like Princess Peach, because she could float.
But that was only in the American Super Mario 2.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah. So that sounds interesting, I guess. I'm not really a huge Sonic fan. I didn't watch the movies. I guess I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to start watching more stuff for this damn show that we do. I got to read more Isom comics.
Oh, my God.
He's got the next one coming out. I already received the thing.
How many comics have come out from that?
One.
And it's taken this long to get the next one going?
Yeah, I don't even think they have the campaign yet for the second one.
So I've heard one good thing about the Isom comics that a lot of people didn't pick up on, and I don't even know if it was on purpose or if this is going to be something that Eric July steals for the future. But apparently, part of Isom's power set is that he has a sort of rogue thing going on where he sort of steals from people he's fought before, which supposedly is able to explain some of the fights in the novel that don't make any sense. Like apparently him crashing into the blonde chick
gave her those abilities.
Gave him, yeah.
I've heard something like that, but
his Voldemort ripoff in the Documon. That's why he doesn't know about all the powers he has, but just knows that his powers are growing.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give Eric July too much credit. I think he's a grifter, and I think grifters are inherently non-creative. So who knows?
Yeah, it seemed like it was not well thought out.
No. But it wasn't well written out either.
No.
And that's even less excusable. Because how much of an ego do you have to have to not have someone spell check this thing? Just like, don't touch my words? Is that what's going on?
Probably. You see that a lot with the big
$3.7 million, ladies and gentlemen. Allegedly.
Nah, he got it. All right, let's go to something a little more happy here. The Manalorian Season 3 finale, which is coming this Wednesday. 10 bold predictions. I don't know if they're bold. They say they're bold, but just judging by the picture, I don't think they're being very bold. Prediction 1, Thrawn makes his big debut. Again, not very bold. It's kind of what everyone's been saying, right?
That's predictable.
Grand Admiral Thrawn will soon make his live-action debut as the lead villain of Ahsoka, once again played by Rebels voice actor Lars Mikkelsen. And there's a chance he pops up in The Mandalorian ahead of time to set up the Jedi spinoff. The Chiss genius, who was revealed in Ahsoka's first trailer, was mentioned by Moff Gideon in a penultimate episode, with his comrades promising that his imminent return will herald in the reemergence of the Empire's military. Gideon's empirical meeting may have just been to lay the groundwork for Ahsoka, but this could also have been preparing for the finale. Giancarlo Esposito's villain didn't seem to be seeking a leadership bid against Thrawn, which may set up his return to shut down the competition, perhaps even put an end to Gideon. That wouldn't make sense. I don't see him showing up to take down Moff Gideon. I see him showing up. Here's how I predict the episode's going to happen. Moff Gideon is going to lose, and then he'll contact the Shadow Council and be like, "I need you guys to send me all the things, right? To stop I need the full force of the Empire." And then we'll see fucking Thrawn show up and be like, "No, putting an end to this. You're cut off." Yeah, it's almost over. The season did feel kind of underwhelming. I like some of it. I like some of the episodes that a lot of people didn't like.
I mean, there were some episodes that were good, and then there were some episodes that were kind of meh.
You've been watching Mandalorian there, Extra Hero?
Look, how many Star Wars things do we have to watch these days? Like,
all of them.
No, I haven't, but I am excited about the. How do you say her name?
Ahsoka?
Excited about that because I'm a big fan of the actress. So, and strangely enough, that is how some of these movies get new audiences, just by casting significant actors and actresses. So that's how they're going to get me into whatever she's going to be doing with that character in the future.
I'm not. I was actually disappointed that they cast her as Ahsoka.
Oh, okay.
Because that means that she's not going to come back. She's probably not going to come back as part of the Daredevil cast and stuff.
Well, with this switch over to Disney Plus, I think it might make it more likely because she's sort of Disney royalty at this point.
I just think she'd be too busy to shoot.
Well,
who knows,
Pedro
maybe.
Pascal, you'd think he'd be too busy as well, but he's everywhere.
Yeah, but that's probably a body double for most of the shots. That's why he wears the helmet. You don't even realize he's not even on set.
By the way, did you watch The Last of Us? I wasn't here when that was going on. Were you a Last of Us viewer?
No, I've never played the game, so I had no interest in the show.
Oh, okay.
So I think
can recommend them. I can recommend them both.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me, that they're good.
Yeah, but are you just not a PlayStation guy, or?
No, I'm a PlayStation guy. I just haven't got around to it. I have like 500
okay.
games in my backlog.
Oh yeah, and you play like retro and indie games and stuff like that. So
I just play whatever. Why is everybody keep saying I play retro games? I just play whatever. Like I played Hogwarts Legacy not too long ago.
Wait, where was that stream?
When it debuted, it was like when it came out. What, we got it 3 days early, so
Yeah, you were doing streams on there.
Is there a VOD channel or a second channel?
it's on this channel. It should be on the. You got to go into the live tab and then, or just go into the little search bar on the channel.
Okay, I want to see what house you're in.
I won't spoil it then. we had fun creating the character, picking the wand, doing some of the missions. It's a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think? I think this is likely. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I can see this happening. I mean, I think this is more likely after the announcement that they want to do like a movie tying the shows together, or at least certain shows together, because I can see Thrawn being tied to that movie.
All right. What about you, Hero? You think it's likely? I know you ain't been watching Star Wars, but
I think it's likely because why would they put it at number one?
Disney Plus's Ahsoka gets teased. But Thrawn isn't the only character who could appear to set the stage for Ahsoka, as the upcoming spinoff is a packed cast of Star Wars icons, including marking the live-action debut for much of the animated Rebels crew. With Bo-Katan gathering Mandalorians from all clans to aid in the retaking of Mandalore, many have been speculating all season long the Rebels' Sabine could show up ahead of her role in Ahsoka. and the finale may be the place for that. When the Book of Boba Fett was coming to pass, season 2 of The Mandalorian included a post-credit scene to announce the show, tease its plot, and confirm a release window. Perhaps Ahsoka could receive similar treatment to get viewers excited for the Mandoverse's next entry with a brief stinger or even a clip of the show. I think there's going to be maybe a brief stinger, but I don't think anything else beyond that.
Well, I don't think Ahsoka is going to even appear in the next episode, so...
Yeah, but I think at the end, like after the show's over, there'll be like a little like next on Star Wars, like the next Star Wars thing, watch Ahsoka. There'll be like a little clip from the show. That's what they did with Book of Boba Fett, remember?
That could be true.
Because they want people to keep watching. They want people to be like, here's the thing, you got to watch this. Be excited for this.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like these top two, I feel like, are more likely after those announcements that they made a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we wanted to tie everything together.
Yeah, so like these are obviously like theories that I think help support that.
All right, number 3, The Mandalorian's major death. Din Djarin, I hate all these damn silent letters. Body double. Brendan Wayne recently teased a heartbreaking finale for season 3 with his cryptic hint that might just hurt too much, which likely points to one thing and one thing only: the death of a fan favorite character, the killing off Grogu. So who is likely to die in the Mandalorian finale? Well, any of the villains like Giancarlo Esposito's Moff Gideon or Katie O'Brien's Elia Kane are probably off the table, as it would be tough to see that as in any way heartbreaking. Pedro Pascal's Din took a backseat for much of the season due to the actor's commitment to HBO's Last of Us, and as his Hollywood rise continues, he'll only get busier. Does The Mandalorian have the guts to kill off its original lead? Probably not, largely due to how integral his dynamic with Grogu is to the show. Some other possibilities could include the likes of Bo-Katan, setting up Din to rule Mandalore in her place, Boba Fett, or Grogu, but the chances of the last one are near non-existent, as he is a child who drives huge merchandise sales. What if what's her name comes back? Like, you got the battle and they're losing, then all of a sudden Cara Dune shows up. Saves the day, and then she gets like killed.
You think that's going to be a prediction that's going to be on this list?
Maybe.
I mean, we got so many more to look at.
Yeah. Taking another heartbreaking route outside of deaths, this season introduced the Mind Flayer as a device used by the Empire to erase memories, and it did so for a reason. Dr. Pershing was the first victim of this, but perhaps it will be next used on Din. Clearly, his memories of Grogu and what would be a tearjerker moment. I think it means clearing, not clearly. Boba Fett joins the fight. I don't think this is going to happen. Going into the season 3 finale, Bo-Katan and other Mandalorians will likely be putting together a rescue plan to get Din Djarin back from Moff Gideon's clutches. This task will require all the help they can get. Enter Boba Fett. Boba Fett and Din fought side by side in the character's Disney Plus spinoff, with the latter tagging along to help deal with Tatooine's Pike Syndicate problem, free of charge as a favor to a friend and ally. What the hell is that character from that was put in the back of the tank at the end of Boba Fett?
I'm trying to remember.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? The like sheriff guy.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. I'm forgetting, but like
everyone loved him. What if he comes back and dies?
Oof.
Cobb Vanth. There we go. So I actually have a sort of a fourth wall breaking reason why the Mandalorian will not die.
Uh-oh.
It's because Pedro is too hot right now. And also, if you know anything about the second Last of Us story, something happens in that would that would make it very unlikely that they would try that again with the Mandalorian.
Yeah, he'll be freed up from his commitments to the Last of Us pretty soon.
Yeah. Although with every news story, they keep talking about how much they're going to stretch out the season 2. So
Yeah.
I saw a story today that said Last of Us 2 will stick around on HBO after the events of Last of Us 2. So I don't know how they're going to do that. Well, I guess you have writers you can pay.
They're going to piss off a lot of people. I know the story,
Yeah.
and I know for
Mhm.
sure that all these regular normies who have no idea what's coming are just going to be like, what the fuck? They did what now?
Oh, you can't win with this. You can't win.
With these two having clearly developed a bond.
Yeah, and the problem is in the show, they made Joel even more sympathetic. So,
Yeah, that's what I hear.
So it's going to be even more heartbreaking, but that's what HBO does, right?
All right. With the two having clearly developed a bond, it makes sense that he would come along to assist in the rescue, perhaps bring along Ming-Na Wen's Fennec Stan and Timothy Oliphant's Cobb Vanth for the ride. The premiere even laid groundwork for Vanth to come back as the next Marshal Navarro, while Boba Fett briefly appeared in an international promo for Season 3, making this prediction a likely one. I didn't know that. I did not know that. It was in a international trailer. A Mandalorian trailer emerges. I think this is going to happen for sure. Season 3, Episode 7 came with the title The Spies, which left many waiting for a traitor to emerge amongst the Mandalorians. And yet, such a traitor was never revealed, leaving many to wonder what the title was all about. Many fans had their sights set on the Armorer, who seemed suspicious for a long time and oddly departed the Mandalorian group just before Moff Gideon's ambush. But the use of spies, plural, in the last title might imply that, if it was pointing to an upcoming reveal, there may be more than one traitor. The existing Mandalorian group was joined by plenty of newcomers in that episode, including Axe Wove's mercenaries, the survivors they met on Mandalore who guided them to the Forge, and countless other Mandos who Bo-Katan was able to gather for the endeavor. Truly, any of these people could be traitors, but something continues to be suspicious about Armorer. Hopefully, all will become apparent in the finale, and trans won't have to keep waiting until Season 4 for answers. A Grogu saves the day.
That wouldn't be surprising.
All right, they're having fun.
He's got his new IG, little like walker. No. The Mandalorian recently gave Grogu an exciting upgrade as he was placed in the chest of IG-12, a repurposed IG-11 assassin droid that Din Djarin's child companion can now control and speak through. In Episode 7, Grogu's sweet new ride was mostly played for laughs, but it's important to remember IG-12 started out as an assassin droid, so Baby Yoda may now be able to control his droid into battle and get involved in some action. After Din spent the Season 2 on a mission to rescue Grogu from Moff Gideon, perhaps the roles can now reverse this season, with the little Force user helping to free his adopted father from the Empire's clutches. Dun dun dun. The New Republic arrives on Mandalore. When the Armorer left Mandalore to help treat the injured ahead of Moff Gideon's ambush, she departed with what appeared to be the only ship on the planet, with Din Djarin captured, Paz Vizsla dead, and the rest of Mandalorians having only narrowly escaped. The group is going to need some help. This will undoubtedly be the point where many jump right to Luke Skywalker, and as exciting as it would be to see the fan-favorite Jedi back again, the notion of him showing up in 2 season finales in a row to save the day seems rather ridiculous. As mentioned earlier, it wouldn't be surprising to see Boba Fett show up with Fennec Shand, Cobb Vanth, and other members of the crew, but it probably wouldn't be enough to fight off Gideon and his Beskar-adorned battalion. With the Mandoverse movie confirmed to explore the escalating war between the New Republic and Imperial remnants, the former will have to become aware of a bigger threat at some point soon. Maybe that could all start with Carson Teva leading a mission to assist Gideon on Mandalore. To assist against Gideon. I don't see that happening. Seems like too much right at the end. The Mythosaur enters the fray. We're not going to go through the rest of these. A sequel trilogy connection unfolds.
Oh, boy.
A massive cliffhanger. That's what they're predicting. There's going to be a massive cliffhanger.
Wow, great prediction.
Yeah.
They're going to do something to make you keep paying for your subscription.
Right. Good job. Good job to direct. All right, we got one last thing to talk about. I can't believe we've been talking for the last 2 hours. Writers authorized strike, nearly 98% support work stoppage. Okay, right off the bat, this is a fucking lie. Okay, so if you read the second part of the headline, which is just below it, says the Writers Guild of America says that it set a new record for support and participation with the referendum, with about 79% of eligible members voting. So the 98% support was of the 79% eligible. So the actual support is, what is that, like 78%? Because the rest abstained. But it sounds better with the 98, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to go through this. Basically, if there's no agreement met by, May 1st?
Yeah, May 1st.
Then we're going to have a strike. They're authorized to strike. This will cause probably the other two unions to strike, as RJ was saying earlier. Thoughts?
I mean, I knew obviously the strike's going to happen. There's really not that much time before May 1st. The question is, how long is this going to be? Because the 2007-2008 one lasted like around 3 months, like a few months. And I don't know, from what it sounds like, this could last probably longer than a few months. The thing is, what are the studios gonna do with their movies? Because when the 2007-2008 strike happened, a lot of movies still happened, but some of them suffered from it. Quantum of Solace, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Revenge of the Fallen. I think Terminator Salvation was another one. So the question is, do you just delay your movies or just like rush your movies because of the strike?
Oh, they're going to rush their movies. 100%. And it is going to hurt, but I think like Disney will take advantage of it to get rid of Jonathan Majors.
Oh, speaking of Jonathan Majors, I wasn't on when y'all were talking about him. I actually have a good choice for a replacement. I hate that he has to be replaced, but I also hate that he put himself in this situation. But my replacement would be, because I believe he looks like a young Denzel right now. So I think a good choice would be Denzel's actual son, John David Washington.
What have he been in?
Tenet. He's the main guy in
Yeah.
Tenet. My first
he
thought
would.
was can they afford him? But yeah, they can. They got all the money in the world.
It's Disney. Yeah, they can afford it. He would be good. That'd be an interesting choice.
Yeah, and he'd be someone that, at least in the Black community, we'd show up for him. So that couldn't hurt. In fact,
he looks like he's fit enough too.
I saw Ant-Man because of Jonathan Majors. So
Oof. Dodson says Herbie Derby. No, it's not Herbie Derby time. Not yet. I think this writer's strike, I don't think it's going to happen. I think, obviously, this is a negotiation tactic. They always authorize it. Hollywood, there's no way they've seen what happened last time. They're going to fucking cave.
And Marvel already has too many things sort of going against them. So I hope it doesn't happen.
Both Marvel and WB have way too much.
Yeah.
They're not playing with this shit. They're gonna be like, shut it down, shut this strike down as soon as possible.
Well, James Gunn likes to pretend that he's writing everything. So is he gonna strike?
Yeah. Well, he's a director. How would that work? Because if the director guild goes on strike, would he have to strike along with them? Or does he give up?
The director part of me wants to strike with y'all, but I'm also I also have another job, so that part wants me to stay. So I gotta
Does he give up his guild memberships when he becomes an executive? How does that work? George, any insight?
Can you repeat the question again?
With James Gunn, obviously he was part of the Directors Guild and all that. But now that he's an executive at WB, is he still part of the guild? Would he be required to strike with them if they struck?
I honestly have no idea.
That'd be weird.
Like, yeah, I honestly have no idea how that would work. I think, like, I know he's not on the stream. I think Blinded would probably have like a good idea of how that would work out.
I think if you're WB, you get that scratched off the contract. Because your whole company is basically depending on this one man, because no one ever talks about the other guy who's co-doing it with him.
Saffron?
Yeah, and the whole thing is that people are supposed to have faith in James Gunn because he's supposed to be so hands-on, and you loved what he did before with Guardians of the Galaxy.
And the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And for video game fans and retro game fans like yourself, what's the zombie cheerleader game? That was him as well.
Lollipop Chainsaw?
Yep, that's it. I knew you would know because you're the retro guy. And
it's not that old. I think Lollipop Chainsaw is considered retro. I think it's it's a 2012 game, so that's definitely not retro. PS3 is not retro yet. All right.
Tell that to the Last of Us creators who keep remaking the PS3 game.
Oh, yeah. It's like 4 versions. Bless you, George.
Oh, thank you.
All right. We've been here 2 hours and 16 minutes. We've stretched this out enough. We had a hour-long argument with RJ. But I think it was good. We had good conversation. I love having conversation. I love talking about issues and actually
it's good that
things.
It's good that y'all managed to have a sort of a diverse viewpoints on that when you didn't need to. So that was cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We got nothing. Tomorrow I'm going to probably stream a game. I'm leaning towards, and I'm going to say this, and I just said like a little while ago, I'm not a retro gamer. I'm leaning towards Mega Man 8 because I'm working through all those games. So maybe we'll get a Mega Man 8 stream tomorrow or something else. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But until then, love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.
Later.
That sounds like a Soul Train saying.